region tones, audio theme, multi-frequency. So everything else I'm gonna just leave, just stock. And I've driven by here. Well, I drive by here all the time, and I decided to come out on a Sunday because obviously there's no workers out here. So we got a 65. It's coming up on the 2D screen, pretty good. 63. See if I can pinpoint it. Again, the ground is hard. So now it's coming in at a 37. Yeah, Jimmy, you should. There's a perfect time right now, 72. So I don't like how it got jumpy like that. I think it's right. Try to pinpoint. I think it might be iron, the way it's real jumpy, but we'll dig it up. Yeah, I look back and this has been here since the 60s, if I remember right. I did a video right before I left the house on how I do my research. I didn't do it on this area. I did it on this old swap meet movie theater, outdoor theater, drive-in theater. And so I'll post that video, and it shows exactly how I do my research. I think it's still in the hole. Let's see. Well, normally I would never take a plug out, but they're going to put all new grass in here. So it's over there a little bit more. I'm actually wearing, I bought these off Amazon. It's these bright yellow shirts, kind of hiding in plain sight, so nobody even, I mean, I'm in a construction zone, and there are no trespassing signs or nothing like that. It's public property. Wonder, I wonder how much cable is under this ground. Give me a bunch of false signals. Let's reset this. Okay, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each target, so we'll just keep moving. And the ground's so hard, I don't want to dig too deep. Let's see, we got sensitivity at 20. I'll trip a little bit. It's actually a good signal right there. Could be a dime. Actually, it might be a quarter. Dig a little bit bigger of a plug. I do have my bigger shovel that I take out to the desert, but I would not want to bring it out here. That thing will dig some huge plugs. Looking pretty good so far. Let's pray for well, pray, but let's hope for a silver. First target would be great. It's over here on the sidewall. Yeah, so there's, is that, no? So there's the bus stop here for the transit, but there's also the train that comes by. Is that it there? Okay, let's take it back a little more. And I've said this before, I hate digging a plug next to another plug, but where they're going to rip all this out, put all new grass in, it's not gonna matter. So it should be in here. Come on. Big rusty nail. That was it. So normally I take all my targets. I'm going to put this back in the plug, and I'm going to tune my detector to the best I can based on that nail to save myself some time, because I don't know how many more days we're going to have. Let's see, I'll clean that up, make it's about the depth it was before. So now, let's see, it looks like a good signal, except there's painting up here in the ferrous. So I'm going to come over here, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an expert. I'm learning this machine every day as well. Um, Ferrous limits. No, I don't want to go there. I want to go ferrous volume. So I'm going to turn my ferrous volume down to 4. It's actually reading it even better. I'm going to put it at a 1. See, it's painted in as a perfect. I mean, you'd have to dig that. Let's see. Stabilizer. Crank it up to a 10. Still reading it. Let's put our filter on. Let's see, now it's starting to think it's a, even though it's painting it on the line, which is nice, but that stabilizer's kind of canceling. I know in my test garden I have silver, and with the stabilizer on, I miss a lot of it, so I really don't like to run with the stabilizer on. So let's see if we crank this up to, well, I guess 12 is the best, or the highest. Let's take it to 1. I do a lot of these videos for my own education too. I can go back and review it. Hey, thanks, Tim Talk. I think that's your name. Let's see. Stabilizer. We'll put it back at 4. Ferrous pitch. No, it still sees it as a good target. Let's see if I go to general. Well, we will just run it like that. There's another 75. It's on the 2D line, but it looks like it's not deep. Or I should actually check that. Let's see. No, it should be on the surface. Come in like a 12, painted on the 2D line. Let's see if I can see anything on the surface. And again, a lot of these ones will come up as those low numbers, and that's what gold comes up as. But so does aluminum. So you dig a lot of aluminum. I think I see it. Aluminum. Yep. A big piece of aluminum. We'll haul that out of here. And I'll probably just go only, well, I guess if I'm over by the bus stop, I'll dig those low tones because they could be gold. Sounds to me like it's a big target. Somebody sitting here by the tree, waiting for the bus. So that one's coming up nice, but deep, which is always hard by these big roots. Pinpoint it. Always have to let it set for a second. Let's see how. That's not too bad, actually. That's just really simple. Soft. Normally, by the tree roots, they're really bad. Still down there. I think it's going to be a penny. Can I get it out? Nope, it's right over here. Hopefully it's a weedy. Be nice. Kind of tell me I'm on the right track for some old coins. Okay, it's out. With that, another piece of iron. Oops, I broke it. That's 0 for 2. 0 for 2 for iron. Turn 90, see if it stays. Staying pretty consistent. Whoops. There's some roots or something down there. I'm trying to get around it. So now it's starting to paint up into the ferrous screen. Reset this. This is actually right around the corner from a permission I have at our old abandoned house. And I have found all kinds of good stuff there. Gold, sapphire, silver, Wheaties, um, silver thimble, cool stuff. So I know this area is old. So it's 7980. If I turn the detector, I'm letting the processor get as much data as it can. Shoot up to 95. And this should be a dime, but when it shoots up in the 90s like that, it makes me a little nervous. That's telling me it could be a larger size. So something like a nail. Try to get these plugs a little deeper. See, it's coming up as a dime. It should be a dime. Look at that. It's painting it perfect. 8081, right on the 2D line. Come on, baby. Make sure you guys can see it. It's in my hand. It is. Oh, it's a memorial. Yeah, these memorials do ring up in the 80s. I don't think there's anything else. At least as a coin. Let's get a date off it. And they came out with memorials in 58 through 2008. This one will be, my wife was nice enough to get me this. I knew it was going to get scratched because it's plastic. Yeah, I need a glass one. I don't know if you guys can get the date off that one or not. Probably older because it's in better condition. Throw that thing in the trash pile because it's already scratched. And if you guys can like the live and subscribe and follow, I would appreciate it. I think last night I was in my test garden where I have a bunch of silver and stuff buried. They had, it was 4,000 people on the live. Let's see. Here's one. That should be, well, maybe another memorial. That's hitting a little bit lower. I have an app that I just got last week or so. It's called like Tickify or something like that. It links to your TikTok account. And so if somebody leaves a comment, it actually reads it to me through my earpiece. That's back in the 80s, so it should be a quarter. But again, those memorials do come up in the 80, 81. So if you guys leave a comment, it actually reads it to me through the earpiece, so that way I don't miss comments. When you're trying to listen to the detector and all that, sometimes you'll miss those. Let's see. Big piece of iron. I don't think that was a signal though. Let's move that. I still think there's a coin in there. Yeah, there's still a coin down there. Should be a quarter at 83, 84. I think that iron on top was masking it. So even in my test garden, I have a silver coin at, I think it's 7 inches. Then 3 inches above that, I put a nail just so I can, again, tune this detector. It should be in that plug. At least I put up. Turn the phone. Did it fall out? Nope, another big piece of iron. Probably because it's so rounded like that. It saw it as a coin. And then it'll give you that higher, what they call VDI, which is the numbering system they use. And that higher VDI is because the weight of it or the size of it. So it reads it as a larger signal. Make sure, even though again they're going to put all new grass in here, we'll make sure to fill these plugs in nice. What number are you tripping over them? Pretty clean. Go on. 7 or 8. Again, probably aluminum, but worth digging. It's in the plug. At least I thought it was. Yeah, it's in there. Again, this ground is hard. They've not watered it for a while. Thought I dropped it. Nope, nope. There it is. Piece of aluminum. So we got 2, 3 aluminum, 2 iron, 1 memorial. I was hoping on some older. Well, I couldn't see the date on that memorial, so could still be old. Should be a coin there. Although those other 2 pieces of iron came in the mid 70s, so it is in the plug. What do you guys think? Sorry. out. Let's see. Ah, it's 2 coins. Look at that, they're like fused together. So they're going to be newer memorials, I would imagine. Yeah, you can see the Lincoln Memorial that direction. Huh, giving a nice little tone just because of them being together like that. The biggest coin spill I've ever gotten is 7 coins. It was actually at my wife's grandmother's house, and there was a little piece of leather in the hole with it. So it's probably one of her aunts or something back in the day because they've lived there forever. So throw that in a little better. So it could be a pull tab, but I have pulled a lot of pendants at those low 30s, so it's worth checking out. A lot of times the pendants will be real jumpy because you'll have some silver, you have some gold in it, maybe pewter, you'll have some decorative enamel or something, so you get all kinds of different readings. They almost look like junk signals, and I dig it. It ends up being a cool pendant. Still staying in the 30s. It's out. It's not, it's not that. Yep, piece of aluminum. Somebody sitting here having a cold drink on a hot day. If you want. Yeah, I have another place I'm going to go to later. I was there, it was last Sunday or the Sunday before. It's the old Redwood Drive-In, and they had a swap meet on Saturdays and Sundays. Did a bunch of research. I actually recorded my screen doing the research to show everybody the exact apps I use, how I add my waymarks, so I know when I get to a place kind of where to walk to. And so I'm kind of excited to go back and see what I can find there. I can't tell if it's in the plug or not. Deeper. No, it's in there. There we go. Make our life a little easier getting the target out. Oh, lose it. It's not that, is it? No. We drop it. Hmm. Well, I thought it was in the plug. Now it's reading that's in the sidewall. Or maybe it just got dropped. Yeah. Let's see if it's metallic. Use my magnet. Yep, a little piece of iron. Problem with those little pieces of iron, you chase those things all day long. That's why I have magnets on most of my digging tools. Everybody's being quiet today. There we go. Hopefully we get more time. That isn't. 64. Real jumpy though. It's not forming a perfect circle. It's more of a line. So a piece of iron. Didn't show as too deep though. Not showing tight. 60, 62. So if I hit the button on the Garrett, I can actually sense exactly a little closer to where it could be. Hit it again. See right in there. Oh, really? That is weird. I normally don't see iron come up that, or excuse me, aluminum come up in the 60s like that. Just recheck it. That was it. Huh. It's kind of odd. You go to different places, schools, private homes, places like this, public spots, and get all kinds of different signals. One that you would be like, nope, that's going to be a coin all day long, ends up being something totally different. Like this should be a dime right here, from my experience. But out here, it's kind of, again, I don't know. You hate to walk away from the target. Staying 70. Delia, thank you. Appreciate it. And there it is. Another piece of, I'm sure that's aluminum. Huh. That's odd that it would ring up that high. It's like in the silver range, coin range. So that's another one that should be a coin right there. Should be a penny. It looks good on the screen. $62, $61. Should be a penny. There it is. Yep, another crusty, probably a memorial. Yeah, you can see it in the back. And that's what I would expect at that number. Those other pieces I'll have to look at because they're ringing up way too high for aluminum. Even the size, I guess that could change it, but still, normally they'd stick in the 30s. Small pieces will be in the single digits. So here's a 30, normally like a pull tab. So probably a pull tab, a little too high for a nickel. Normally nickel's 26 to 28. Um, but again, I found pendants in that 30s, so you don't want to walk past them. Sticking at 29 to 31. Yep, there it is, pull tab. So now if I get any more of that signal, I'll just pass them up. I just like to verify each location before I pass on something. And again, you might still miss something. You can't dig everything. Nine. It looks like there might be a couple of signals in there, or it's one big target. Check the hole first. So there's still something over here coming up. Let's see what that number is. Yep. Turn that off. I like to check around the hole first because as I'm digging the other target, I end up throwing it back in the hole and you miss it. That's a newer shield penny. So that's pretty, well, that was over here on the side, so maybe not too deep, but those came out in what, 2008? Oh, there's another one there. There's two of them. That's why there's a nice, so you always check your hole. Okay, probably just a little coin spill modern clad, but we'll take it. What's in here? Oh, there, right there. Quarter. This is state quarter because the date will be on the back. 2017. What state is this? Not sure. I don't know my state quarters that good. Oh yeah. Let's see. More coins. Oh yeah. I got to pick up a nickel. Another penny. 2009. Another penny. It's a shield. That was a nice little coin spill. Somebody sitting here against this tree, probably trying to stay out of the sun, right next to the bus stop. Yeah, I was hoping for older coins. So that should be a dime right here. Be nice to pull a nice silver, rosy or a mark. That's staying tight. See that? Staying at 80 right on the 2D screen all day long. That should be a dime. Although the memorials do ring up because they use that junk material in them. Let's pull out here. Shake it out of there. There it is. So it is a dime. See if we can get a date off it. 19, I want to say 87. If you guys can read that or not. If you can, just comment. So that's a target I'm used to digging every day. A nice tight 80. You know, it'll jump down to 79 to 81, but it's just stick right in those numbers. Those other earlier aluminum ones are a little different. Sticking right about 62, 63. What do you guys think of 62, 63? What could that be? I'm going to say an older memorial. Hey, thanks, Ronald. I appreciate it. For some reason, I don't know if the audio went out on my headphones or what, but I'm not hearing any of the comments or anything. In my hand. And it is a penny. It's a crusty memorial. Normally they come up higher. Yeah, like I said, I'm on this construction site, so I figured nobody would be here on a Sunday. And I'm getting a nickel right there. It's at 27. Normally if it jumps to 30, it's a pull tab, but if it sticks in that 27, 28, it's actually right next to the other plug. Yep, sticking at 27. It's on the ground. Let's see. This is, let's see if I can get a year off this one. Let you guys look at it first because I cannot see my screen this close. This is a 1984. So we're not finding the old coins like I'd hoped for. And a lot of times you pull something like that, you're hoping for a, a early 60s or 50s or even a war nickel or something like that. Then you can start kind of dating the area. So they may have redone this in the 80s or so, brought in new dirt, new sod. Pinpoint. Sticking at about 60. There's actually a place I drove by the other day. It's a landscaping company, and they had a mountain of old sod they've ripped out. And I've noticed it before, but never really thought about it. But I was going to pull over and ask them if I could detect all that sod because they're going in there scraping out the sod and maybe a couple inches of dirt and make it a lot easier for me. As long as I didn't make a mess. I don't see why they would. I don't see why they'd even care. It's in my hand. Probably another memorial. Yep. Won't even get a date off that one. I have a rock tumbler. I just can't find it, so I'll probably go buy a new one because I have a couple of hundred coins. I can't even get dates off them. They're just clad, so it's not gonna hurt any like a pneumatic value to them. A lot of coins right here in this area, though. A nice low signal right on the 2D line. And there's an 80 right there next to it. Should be a quarter. And now it's jumping down a little bit. We'll dig a big plug because I think there's two targets here. And that low number, a lot of times I just pass them up. But when you're digging coins like this, people obviously sitting here, it could be a little gold ring or something. $78, $80, probably a memorial. Could be a dime. Sure, there's no other signals down there. Try to shake some of that excess dirt off. There it is. Another dime. We'll get a date off this one. 2000, what does that say, 13? You guys can see that. So again, nothing crazy old. I'm gonna work my way down to these other trees and see if I can get something older down here. Again, they are gonna fill all this in with new stuff, but we don't want somebody tripping over a hole. See this again, probably aluminum, but you never know. And the number is staying tight. Staying tight, 10 to 12. it is. Aluminum. Let's see if we can get us a weedy. That's kind of low, right at 58 to 60. Sticking. There it is. Another junk. Okay, so let's kind of move on from this area. If I can get a weedy or a pre-64 nickel or something like that, then I know I'm possibly in a good area. So let's get a little closer. There was an 87 here. It's a good signal there. 87, 88. Let's turn 90, see if it stays. Yeah, not too deep. So probably a quarter modern clad. Just, I'm going off because it's not too deep. But I found a 1950 rosy 90% silver dime the other day, and it was only a couple inches down. There's another signal right there too. Let's just dig them both. That one's probably another memorial, but so that should be the penny on the right. So we'll come back for this one and get this junker out of here. Or hopefully it's something nice, but there it is. Yep, another junk memorial. So this one I'm thinking should be more of like a quarter. There it is. Yep, and it's another state quarter, so the earlier or newer one. At least we're learning our targets based on this ground. I know there's going to be tons of targets in here. We're going to dig one last target here, then we're going to head over by those older trees, which is where, if I was catching the bus, I'd be hanging out where it's a little cooler. Probably another quarter. Not going to be silver because it's hitting a little too high. No, it's a dime. I was hitting high for a dime. Let's see if we can get my phone. Let's see if we can get a year. I see a 20, so it's 2000 something. Oh wow! Look at this. Another coin, another coin, another coin. There is a quarter in there. And a memorial, another memorial. That's why it was ringing up so high. There's another coin right there. Nice little coin spill, 2 in one day. Oh wow. Nice little coin spill, 2 in one day. Oh wow. Look at that. Nickel, another quarter, This one, yeah, it's another. I see it right there. Quarter, a dime. Piece of aluminum. Another two more dimes. Another two more dimes. There's a memorial. Huh, I didn't count that, but nice little coin spill. And every time I drive by these, or recently been driving by these. Hey, welcome. Trying to scroll up. There we go. Yeah, welcome to everyone to the live. Just had a nice little coin spill, our second one. And I drove by these bus stops. And I was like, people sitting here with their backpacks and, all that stuff. I mean, there's just tons of coins in here. But I'm looking for older stuff. So I'm going to pass up all this dollar menu change here. Try to go get over here where these older trees are and see if we can get lucky. And plus, I'm in the shade. That makes a difference in the shade. '94. I think it's going to be iron. Let's see if I can pinpoint it. Come at 85, but it's painting kind of high on the ferrous. I'm going to dig it anyways. It might have been it right there. Something hard. It's probably going to be iron. Coming at 83, real scratchy. Yeah, it's iron. Big piece right there. Oops. TikTok wants me to confirm I'm still on. There we go. Yeah, big piece of iron. Let's see if I can get it out of there. It's in there pretty deep. I normally like to remove them just so I don't end up detecting them again if I come this way. Although I do track all my movements with GPS. That was a little bit better. It's still not directly on the 2D line. That's real scratchy. See if it stays. I'm kind of interested in this 3738 signal because it stayed consistent as I turned on 90. That's a trick that I forgot who I learned it from. Another social media person. But when you get a good target, just turn 90 degrees, swing your detector coil over it again. If it stays consistent, then you probably have a decent target. And again, this is 3738, so it could be aluminum, but yep, there it is right there. But now this is kind of a good sign. So this is, if somebody doesn't know this, this is considered a beaver tail. So this was invented, I believe it was 64, 65, only used for about 10 to 12 years. Then they came out with the pull tab. And the reason they came out with the pull tab is because they wanted, and I actually keep those because they help to date the area. So that's dated back into the mid 60s to the mid 70s, having a good beaver tail. Then when the pull tabs came out, the reason they did those is because they wanted to keep that pull tab on the can, but you still pull so many pull tabs. A lot of targets in here. I'm going to be a lot more selective. If it is not sticking right on that 2D screen, I'm just going to pass it up. That one's, that one's 92. It is going up into the Ferris, but it's sticking on the 2D screen as well. 93. Just two different coin spills so far. This is, I'll show you the area I'm at. It is a tear out. They're expanding the road. So I figured nobody's here on a Sunday. So it's right by the railroad track. There's a bus stop here. A couple of major intersections here in Utah. So I figured this would be a good place. And nothing crazy so far. Just mainly um, modern clad. This signal's good, but it keeps scratching up into the Ferris. But in my test garden, I have a couple of silvers that do the same thing. And I don't know if that's considered the halo effect, as something sits in the ground longer and create like a little halo, making the target look more scratchier than what it actually is. But we'll investigate it. Maybe, because there might be a big tree root here. I want to walk away from it because the tree root, but the target looks or sounds decent. But I might not be able to get underneath that tree root. I'm not being as careful with my plugs as I normally am because they will be putting all new grass in. There we go. Let's see. If I don't got it on that, I'm going to leave it because those tree roots, I'll spend a half hour trying to dig through them. So we'll leave that silver for somebody else. So that should be a dime there. probably going to end up being a memorial because it was dropping into the 70s. Well, it dropped once to 79. Let me get down here. We had a signal. It's over here. There it is. Another dime. So we get a year off this one. Can you guys see that? Yeah, I can't make out that year. If you guys can see that or not. Another dime. Again, it's nice to know what you're digging. And those silvers will come up in like the 70s. When I found Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was a 70, came up as a 71 through 73. That was a 1950 silver dime. That should be right on should be a penny right on the surface. Let's see. It should be like right here. Oh, it's not. Huh. The piece of that aluminum or whatever stuff that was coming up high numbers. Is it 83, 84? Should be a quarter. It dropped a little bit. Maybe a couple of signals there. I mean, another little coin spill. Another place I've been hitting is kind of cool. Is I go hit old shopping malls, strip malls that now now you have the thrift store there. You have different. You don't have the main stores like you did back in the 50s or 60s. And a lot of those, was that a male? And most of those areas, big piece of iron. Most of those areas, they didn't really do much to it. The new landlords, they just kind of, maybe threw a little paint on the building or whatever. And now they have these second, third, or 10th tenants in there. And the mow strip, so the grass on the outside street side of the sidewalk is in most areas, as far as I know, public grounds, and so you're free to detect there. Again, check your local regulations. But I've had pretty good success. I haven't found any silver. I found some jewelry. I found some coins. If I'm just bored, want to go out for a little bit. That's an interesting one right here. Should be on the surface too. Might be able to see it. Let's come up with a 40, which is in line with where gold could be found. It's not that pine cone. Let's see. Double check. Is that aluminum? Yep. I take all this and I'll wash it in a bucket, and then I have the oh, what's that thing called? Anyways, I melt all this down and turn them into like coins or just blocks of aluminum, so it all gets used up. That's a good signal right there. That could be silver right there. 92, 93, right on the 2D line. But there's a bunch of ferrous down here too, so it could just be the overall size. So it's probably going to end up being a big piece of iron. And the only reason I say that is because it's painting it on that lower ferrous line. But I guess that's actually better than on the higher. I think the lower means it's less likely to be iron. Now there's an 80 signal. And it could be another coin spill. And obviously get all those signals together. I think it's picking it up in the plug. Oops. Nope. Look at that. That's what it was. Huge piece of iron. Pretty cool. I'll have to lug this back and see what, if anything, it has a maker's mark. Hey, thanks, Cat Dad. I appreciate it. Oops. Yeah, that was it. Big old lock. Wonder why somebody have a lock out here. 38 to 40. Again, probably aluminum or a big fat gold ring. Still in there. It is, if I can pull it out. Yep, it is another beaver tail. Again, dates the area. 84. See if we can pick that back up. Should be a quarter. Let's turn 90. Staying consistent. It dropped to 81. Yeah, it should be a quarter. Let's hope for a pre-64, 90% silver. I'm yet to find a silver quarter or a half dollar. Numbers are staying consistent, 83, 84, 85. Might be under this root. Yeah, it's going to be under the root. You hear the tone on both sides. So be real careful in case it is silver. The fastest way, whoops, what the hell's that? Oops. It's still under there. Turn my phone for you guys. No, it's still under there. That phone keeps slipping down. Oh, deeper is better. Normally means normally means an older target. Oh, it's something big. Dang it. Like 2 bullet holes through it. That was it. Wow. I saw that thing laying there, and that's why I painted it as a perfect circle. That's been there for a while. Another good signal. Not very deep, 88, 89. Yeah, this tree root's going to be an issue, maybe. Oh, there it is. Here's a quarter. It is another state quarter, so not old. But at least you know the detector's working. You're right on the surface. 54. That's really weird. This is coming up higher than maybe just steel is why. Well, I guess I can tell because it's not magnetic though. It's coming way too high for aluminum. And that's what the third or fourth piece we found. 77. 73, 74. 61. Still hoping to find a wheat penny. Something else in the hole. Let's get that one out first. Yeah, I was using the M8, which is an 8.5 by 5.5. I just felt like I was losing some targets based upon depth. There's a coin right there, and so that's why I went back to the stock. So we got a memorial there, and there's another torch right there on top. Another memorial. But no, I like that. I like that M8. It's nice and light. It gets into tight spots. Um, if I was looking for newer stuff, I would definitely use that one. Oh, there's a quarter down there too. Oh, I see another. All these coin spills. I don't know if it's picking up my knife. Is there another coin there? Yep, right there. Another memorial. Yeah, that's not very common to get that many coin spills just one after another. What do you know what the sale price is? Because I'd be open to the 15-inch. I don't have. That's one I do not have. I'm not really interested in the 9. I think if I was gonna, I'd just rather run the 11. But the 15, especially when I'm out in the desert. Oh, 450 for the set, dang. Because I just bought the M8, I think it was 270. If you guys are looking for a good supplier, I know there's a lot of great suppliers out there, but check out Doc's Detecting, DOCS detecting.com. His name's Doc. He's down in Vegas. He's a multi-line distributor, but he has a lot of Mind Lab stuff, and he always takes care of me, gets stuff shipped out. So this is all over the board. So a lot of times pendants that I dig can be like this. So I'm gonna dig a bigger plug. That's a heck of a deal. I'll have to ask Doc. Like I said, I just got my M8. I don't think it's even been a month. Yeah, I think it's a big piece of iron. I don't know if it's in the plug. Might be something big. I think it's a big piece of iron now. Or actually, is that it right there? Is that an old, whoops, I guess if I show you guys, that's an old hairpin, it looks like. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's not magnetic, so it's going to be aluminum, silver, pewter, gold. Definitely not gold. Huh, it's got a cool piece. But I don't think that was what it was picking up. There's something large in here, and I can see it right there. I'm gonna break my. Just because that hairpin was in here, I want to see what this is. It'd be cool to find a railroad spike. It's been a while since I found those. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be in there pretty deep. I think it's a part that the cable, like this. That's what it is right there. It's a hook. That's what it is. Probably just an older one. Pretty wild to have that hairpin or whatever it was right next to it. Not sure how deep they put those, but I'm definitely not digging that one out. Well, there's a lot of signals here. Nothing, nothing crazy. That hairpin's kind of cool. It's close to my house, so I may come back and investigate it a little bit more. Wonder how much these power lines have to do with the tones. All right, well, that's going to conclude this one. I'm going to head up to Salt Lake to the swap meet drive-in theater, the one that's closed down, and I'll be going live here in a little bit up there. And I've done a bunch of research, have all my GPS picked out. So thanks for being on the live. We'll talk to everybody.